So Jennifer, where would you like to begin? Go on the Trump tariff threat? You pick a place.
The place where I tell you how much I appreciate your positive outlook and attitude. And I heard your quote that you played just before the news regarding the non-mention of Canada by he who can't be mentioned. So you know what? I like that. I like your perspective, Aaron. Let's keep him at what the last thing he said, and we'll go from there. I think that's really what we have to do. I mean, not to say that the other quote that you played from David Eby, is not worthy of mention, because it's good that the first ministers are gathering now. It seems to be on a weekly basis, and as well as the committee that Monsieur Charest is on. So we're ready. I mean, I'm thinking that possibly people have been talking to Donald Trump and letting him know it's not quite as straightforward as you seem to think it is. You can't just, I mean, you look at the spectacle the other night of throwing the pens into the crowd after, taking away people's rights essentially, and then throwing the pens into the crowd. It was, it's been a sort of disgusting week. But yeah, we can talk about anything you want.
Well, okay, so if we're going to talk about, first of all, and I guess I find this kind of interesting today, someone just posted saying, hey, by the way, if you want to run for the Liberal leadership, don't forget your deadline is January 27th. That's next week. And then the Conservatives have an ad up today. I don't know if you've seen this, Jennifer. Christopher Freeland then, Christopher Freeland now. First of all, saying great for the capital gains tax. Now saying I want to cut the capital gains tax, saying for the carbon tax. That's got to be, how do you overcome that? I mean, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, she was associated with the Trudeau government, right, for 10 years, 9 or 10 years. How do you leave that behind, even if you stand up there every day and say, I think I am going to go ahead and change the carbon tax, so it's not going to be the way it was before, when in fact in the past you supported it?
Well, it's hard, and vis-a-vis Mark Carney, he was never in government. So even if at one point he may have supported a carbon tax, he was never on the record as part of a government supporting a lot of these policies. So she's basically putting herself in a situation where she can be accused of flip-flopping. And one of the things that I found interesting, because every time we speak, Aaron, something new has happened in the race because it's so expedited. And I found that the support going towards Mark Carney is much, much quicker than the support going towards Madame Freeland.
So, okay, I'm going to also, I thought I saw someone else today decide they wanted to throw their hat into the ring. Are you hearing anything about anybody else who last minute wants to get involved?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so first of all, so the 27th, that's the date that they have to get their members in. So tomorrow is actually the date that they have to get their $50,000 deposit in and the nomination papers. So today what was announced was Ruby Dalla, who is a former MP from the former riding of Brampton-Springdale from 2004 to 2011. She wants to run. And remember what I was saying about distraction candidates? I think this latter person might be one of those, because it's a guy named Michael Clark. I don't know who he is, but he is I'm using air quotes here, Christian community organizer, business person, and he wants to make the party pro-life. That's what I talk about as distraction parties. And he's going to have a really good time with the Women's Commission with the Liberal Party. Good luck to him, because, we worked really hard to get those pro-life MPs in line in about 10, 15 years ago. And, it's not a pro-life party. So I don't know if he's trying to make this into some sort of a debate, but I don't see how far that's going to go. That's an awfully large amount of money to spend to make that point. But hey, I'm sure he can. The thing is, I'm sure he can raise it. It just seems like a very strange platform to be using.
Do you get the $50,000 back, by the way, if you don't get any votes or do very well, or is that just lost money, that deposit?
Well, no, the $50,000 you get back. That's the only part that you get back. But the rest of it, the $300,000, you don't get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you misbehave, though, that's the thing. If you misbehave or you violate, when I say misbehave, if you violate the Elections Canada Act or whatever internal party rules, any type of campaign finance rules, then the party would reserve right to withhold that deposit. So it's a guarantee of good behavior too.
All right, did you happen to catch any of that Pierre Poilievre clip where he was asked about Donald Trump's remarks on gender?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to play this for you now. I want to know what you think. So remember, during his inaugural speech, Donald Trump, one of the many things he said was, and as far as gender goes, there are only two genders, male and female. You remember that?
Yes, indeed.
Check this out.
President Trump signed an executive order, the U.S. government only recognizing two genders, male, female. They're unchangeable. If elected as prime minister, is that something that you're going to kind of walk in line with, or what are your feelings on that executive order?
Well, I don't know. Do you have any other genders that you'd like to name?
Me personally?
Yes.
I'm just asking more so if you're in line with what he is saying. Do you agree with what he's saying? Is that something that you would be lockstep with if elected as prime minister?
Well, I'm not aware of any other genders than men and women. I mean, if you have any other that you want me to consider, you're welcome to tell me right now.
Well, there's personally, I am a man. As people who say cis man. There are people there who, they say they're
Me too.
gender
I'm a
neutral.
Man. Well,
you are a man.
totally.
Yes. There are people there who say they're gender neutral. Yeah. They say they're gender neutral. They're a trans person. Is that something that you would recognize here? Whereas in the States, at least with their U.S. government, the way they're seeing it, there's only two.
I'm only aware of two, but I mean, if you come up with another list, then
I think you get the gist of it there. What do you make of that, Jennifer?
Oh, well, look, he's been having a hard time answering tough questions the past couple of weeks. So whether it's on this or whether it's the question about, tariffs on Alberta oil, and he's unable to answer the question. The guy wants to be the Prime Minister of Canada. He needs to do better on that. If he's with Trump on the the unfortunate executive order, stripping rights away from transgendered people and whatever. And if that's the stupid answer that he's giving, I would suggest he goes back to his comms department and they work on that, because it's deplorable.
Okay. I will leave it at that. You want to give me your just thoughts today? We've been talking about this on and off. I'm going to have the president of the union on in just a couple of minutes. This story today, Amazon shutting down its Quebec operations. What do you think?
Well, Aaron, it's interesting that the federal leaders, so the Bloc Québécois and the NDP, also use the word deplorable and dégueulasse in their reaction, and also Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne, he had a response. Yet the Conservatives had no response, and François Legault's, you played the orange juice clip earlier. It was like an underwhelming response, and his government is not great on unions. His government's not great on renters, and I mean, it's another example of lack of sympathy. There's almost 2,000 Quebecers that are going to be put out of a job. I think he could have done better than to have said it's a business decision that I can do nothing about.
And that's where we leave it. Jennifer, thank you so much. Appreciate it.